Happy Nintendo Story Tuesday. It feels so good to be back. I took a short 1-week break from the channel, and I apologize, but at the same time, I promise you all, it was a good recharge. While I was gone, I was on vacation, I went to New York City, I visited tons of awesome video game stores, I picked up a pair of green and pink Joy-Cons, and I even started more of my Donkey Kong Country 2 tattoos on my arm. It has been eventful, but I'm back, I'm ready, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling like it's time to get this channel rolling and make some good videos, and I'm just pretty jazzed about the future. Happy to be here, happy to be in front of you guys, and we've got a brand new story. It comes from my friend Dominic. He goes by @FrazierHead on Instagram. Let's start the show. Dominic writes, the date was May 17th, 2004. It was my brother's 10th birthday. As he finished opening his gifts, or so he thought, my mom disappeared and reappeared with a mysterious box. Inside was something no one expected, a Nintendo GameCube. My siblings and I were freaking out. It was my very first home console. I had never seen anything like it before. My only previous Nintendo experience was the OG Game Boy. Not only did we get a GameCube, but we got 3 new games to go with it. I fell in love with all 3 games immediately, but only one of these 3 titles would later become the game that captivated me for the next 13 years of my life. The game that would follow me from kindergarten to college. This game was the one and only Wario World. As soon as we set up the GameCube, this was the first game we put in. After waiting an eternal amount of time for my siblings to play, it was finally my turn. And from the second I started moving that fat, greedy, garlic-loving man around the screen, I was hooked. I was so young at the time, I didn't quite understand the concept of actually beating a game, and I spent most of my time running around and beating up all the Magons? Am I saying that right? Despite how mundane that sounds, I was obsessed. As the years passed by and many failed attempts from my brother and I were made, we were still unable to beat the final world of the game, Sparkle Land. Eventually, I got deflated and retired the game, and as the years passed by, this continually happened. Despite how much my video game skills had improved, I still couldn't beat Sparkle Land. Over the course of a decade, I tried to beat the game probably 5 or 6 more times with no chance of success. I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that I had so much trouble beating such a seemingly simple game. I let it go for about 2 years, when suddenly, about a month ago, I got the sudden urge to try again. This time my goal was simple. Beat the game from start to finish, collect every object, every gold trophy, and save every spriteling. This wasn't an easy challenge, but I was determined. Over the course of the month, I spent 17 grueling hours exploring every corner of the map, beating up every enemy in sight, and collecting every red diamond in the game. Nearing the finale of my journey, I finally made it to the point of no return. World 4, Level 2. Pecan Sands. I probably spent about 30% of my gameplay time just on this level. Every puzzle was just as difficult, if not more so than I remembered. After spending a good 5 or so hours in this world, it finally happened. The moment I had been working towards for the last 13 years, I finally beat every puzzle in the game and collected every hidden gem. This in itself was probably the most fulfilling moment in my entire gaming life, or so I thought. After completing this level, I unlocked the final boss of Sparkle Land, Captain Skull. This was my very first time fighting him, ever since I got a GameCube. But despite this, I was able to beat him. This was it. The moment had finally happened. September 9th, 2017, 13 years later. For the first time in my life, I unlocked the final key to Wario's massive treasure chest. In all of the years I've been playing video games, especially as a massive Nintendo fan, beating this boss was the single best moment I've had while playing a game. It seriously felt like a chapter of my life ended after beating Wario World. Seeing the Spritelings rebuild Wario's castle at the end of the game felt more fulfilling than I'd like to admit. I watched the credits roll, reflecting on all the years I spent trying to beat this game and how much I've grown up since first playing 13 years ago. I finished the credits, ejected the game, and went on with my day. It was one of the best days I've ever had. Masterpiece! A beautiful masterpiece written by my friend Dominic. Dominic, thank you. You've opened my eyes to the game that is Wario World because frankly, I have never played it. I'm probably gonna end up buying this like now because I want to play it. Looking at the gameplay, it looks like an awesome game. And Dominic, I'm so happy for you that you finally went and beat the game that was hovering over your childhood for all of eternity. I know how that feels. I know it so well. And yes, it is an amazing feeling. So thank you, Dominic, for sending that beautiful story. Guys, we're in an exciting time. We're nearing the end of the year. Super Mario Odyssey is getting closer. Samus Returns is coming out on Friday. We got Pokken Tournament coming out. The Super Nintendo Classic, I forgot. Geez, that's coming out in a few weeks. I can't believe this. Everything's crazy. Being a fan of Nintendo is crazy right now. I am looking forward to the future. There's so much possibility. There's so much Nintendo. This has been Nintendo Story number 21.